1 questions. You will get to eliminate or leave blank 1 question. You will not be able to leave blank question 101. But any of the other ones you can skip. And you just write skip. You are going to get a packet which has got all of the questions in it. You will not be writing in this packet because you're also going to get an answer sheet. You will circle your answer on the answer sheet. This is what you'll turn in. I want all of these back. Please do not mark on them. I'm trying to save trees. And so you can see that in this class, I'll be using the same exam in the future. So this is all you're going to turn into me. All right, are you ready? I've divided the questions by chapter. Here you go. Chapter 1. The first question is, what's the goal of the social work profession? Number 2, a general social worker, generalist social worker is one that does what? Number 3, the BSW practitioner is able to do what? What are they able to do? And there's a bunch of possibilities. Number 4, the first settlement house in the United States was located where? Number 5, by the way, these are all multiple choice, so I'm giving you the locations and all you'll do is circle it. Number 5, Hull House was established in 1899 by whom? Chapter 2, that's all in Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is theoretical perspective. So in that chapter, I'm going to ask you, number 6, the simplest way to define the term system. How do you define it? Number 7, the ecosystems and the ecological perspective does what for social workers and allows them to focus on what? And so you get several choices there. Number 8, the generalist approach to social work practice is rooted in what? And you remember we talked about that, whether it's the code of ethics or psychoanalytic or systems theory or whatever, and you get several choices. Number 9, the generalist approach to social work practice involves attention to what? And then again, you're going to get several choices there. Number 10, a strengths perspective leads naturally to the idea of doing what? Giving assistance to the clients, for example, intervention with the family, empowering clients. You get several choices there. 10, the Republican Party is described as what? Liberal, conservative, neoliberal, far left, whatever. Number 12, the Democratic Party is described as what? Far left, conservative, liberal, ultra-conservative. Again, many choices. 13, people with conservative perspectives want to do what? Do they want to keep things as they are? Do they want to give poor a chance? Do they want to change the structure of the government? Or do they want to make everybody economically equal? What do they want to do? Number 14, in particular, conservatives believe that the government should not interfere with what? Your role as a social worker, a physician, a generalist social worker intervention, or free market. You'll decide. Number 15, the processes people use to improve the fit between themselves and their environment is called what? And I will give you several. Chapter 3, social justice and poverty in populations. So question 16, the United States president who engaged in an attack on the poor that was not limited to mothers and their children, but also targeted the elderly, the disabled, etc., by trying to privatize Social Security was who? And I'll give you several presidents. Number 17, poverty may be defined broadly in terms of resources to achieve a reasonably comfortable standard of living. True or false? Number 18, during the 1980s, growth in child poverty rates continued to, poverty rates coined the term what? And I'll give you several terms, so you'll have to know what the growth in child poverty rates was coined as. Number 19, racial and ethnic minority groups have done what? Biological and cultural differences, differences from the majority, differences from the minority, etc. There's several choices there. Number 20, the skill of communicating competently with people of contrasting cultures is called what? Is referred to as what? And that's got to do with culture. So it be cultural paradigm, interaction, competency, understanding, whatever. Chapter 4, temporary assistance for needy families replaced which former maintenance program? Temporary assistance for needy families is known as TANF, and then I'm going to give you things like general relief, food stamps, AFDC, etc. Those are your choices. Number 22, those who endorse the residual approach to social welfare believe that people should normally be able to do what? And so you'll have to know what they should be able to do if you look at the residual approach. Number 23, the institutional conception of social welfare is based on the belief of what? And again, I'll give you 4 choices and you'll decide which one. Number 24, after the American Revolution, relief of the poor became a prerogative of whom? So I'll give you things like state government, federal government, church, county agencies, and you pick the right one. Number 25, the settlement house movement involved what? Was it the residual approach, evangelical missions, federal support of social agencies, self-help and mutual aid? Again, you'll have to decide which one it is. 26, which of the following was not established by the Social Security Act of 1935? And then I'll give you several things: social insurance, public assistance, health and welfare, or homestead protection, and you have to pick which one it is not. Number 27, the purpose of the Major Welfare Bureau, passed in the closing days of the Reagan administration in 1988, was to do what? And I will give you 4 kinds of things. For example, allow unemployed mothers to remain at home with their children, and then I'll give you some others, so you'll pick the correct answer. Number 28, the Personal Responsibility Work Act eliminated which of the following programs? I will give you several, like Earned Income Credit, Women, Infant, and Children, General Assistance. I'll give you those, and then you'll decide which one it is that it's eliminated. Number 29, privatization of government social services is based on what political philosophy? Is it liberal? Is it conservative? Is it far left? Is it radical? You'll pick the right one. Number 30, United States and Somalia are the only nations that have refused to ratify the UN Convention on the Rights of Children. Is that true or false? 31, this is chapter 5. Number 31, the goal of in-home services is to do what? Offer services to the client, financial assistance, assist families in staying together, adoption, foster care. Again, pick the right one. 32, family preservation services may include all but. So then you're going to, or all except, and then you're going to pick the one that it includes everything but that one. Number 33, the primary goal of child protection services programs under the Adoption Welfare Act of 1980 is to do what? Again, you'll have several choices. 34, many who enroll in TANF were sanctioned because they were unable to meet TANF work or training requirements due to what? What caused them not to be able to do that? Was it child care needs, education, health care, transportation? You'll pick the right one. 35, which of the following is not an in-home service generally provided or set up by a social worker in the area of family and children's services? And then you'll get life education, foster care, family, financial aid. Again, which one is correct? 36, what amount of difference did the research completed by Savin, Williams, and Esterberg 2000 find regarding children who were raised by lesbian and gay parents compared to those raised by heterosexual parents with respect to gender identity, soul, sexual behavior, self-concept, intelligence, personality characteristics, or behavior problems? Again, you'll get several choices. Were there a lot of difference, some difference, no difference, minimal difference? You'll pick the right one. 37, the first federal social welfare agency to aid the poor was what? Was it the Freedmen's Bureau, Social Security, orphan trains, almshouses? What was it? Chapter 6, mental health. Number 38, social work practice in secondary setting means what? Where is the secondary setting? Is it another setting other than where you're practicing? And then it would be true or false. Number 39, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, DSM-4, is widely used by mental health professionals as a mental health classification system. True or false? 40, cultural competence in social work involves knowledge of the history and patterns of oppression experienced by cultural ethnic groups, as well as their traditions and their values of that group. Is that true or is that false? Number 41, social workers in mental health settings, BSWs or MSWs, are responsible for what? And that could be clinical social work, medication, psychotherapy, collecting and assessing data. Number 42, who coordinates and ensures that all services that are needed by a client, those sources might be medical, might be financial, might be legal, etc. Who does that? Is it a psychotherapist, a nurse, a clinical social worker, or a case manager? You'll pick the correct. Number 43, the first piece of social research ever conducted in America, Wilson in 1975, was the 1843 report on the status of the mentally ill in Massachusetts. Who did it? So I'll give you some names: Rush, Dix, Adams, Nightingale, and you'll decide. 44, the first social worker specifically hired with mental ill patients was whom? Cannon, Mary Cannon, Ida Cannon, Mary Richmond, Anna Freud. Again, what person? Number 45, the Mental Health Consumer Group that continues to support research, education, and social policy and political activity, and I'll give you several, like the World Mental Health Project, NAMI, Center for Mental Health Services, NIMH, National Institute of Mental Health. You'll decide. Number 7, social work and healthcare. Number 46, an example of acute health care in a hospital, and an example of long-term care is adult care. True or false? Number 47, adult daycare. Number 47, hospice refers to a specialized approach in caring for terminally ill patients. True or false? Number 48, palliative care is defined as a total care of patients whose disease is not responsive to curative treatment. True or false? 49, the shift away from hospitals to outpatient, community-based, and in-health services means that hospital social work is evolving into a broader concept, and that broader concept is called what? And I'll give you things like home health care, healthcare social work, hospital discharge, medical social work. You pick the correct. Number 50, halfway there now. A new but fledgling development in healthcare social work is the establishment of social work services within what? And I'll give you things like insurance companies, doctors' offices, medical offices, Medicare offices, Medicaid offices, etc. Number 51, Medicaid is different from Medicare in that the program does what? And the choices might be covers the oldest member of society, established before Medicare, covers only hospitalization, requires means test for eligibility. 52, what is known as the country's ownership and administration of health care facilities and services where all citizens receive care. What's that called? Is it national health insurance, national health care, national health plan, or national health service? Number 50.